As Mike the Canadian so kindly reminded us, we are here to create a character and also address everything that's happening over here in chat. I have everything open for the week, brand new, you know, in fact, here, we want to talk about open. Let's get a little Snapple ASMR. How about that? A tarantula spider can survive for more than 2 years without food. There we go. You know, it wasn't super poppy, Mantarok. I wasn't even suppressing it on the top. I was twisting it from the side because I was hoping it would just go, you know, and go, like, give you that loud, that good crisp, you know? All right. We're going to roll a percentile dice to find out if we have a female character, a male character, or multi-classed, and roll it again. 42, almost right at the edge of going from female to male, but we do have a female character who is a number 5, which is a Dragonborn. Hey, Bubonic One, we have a Dragonborn. Now, this means that we get to use this handy-dandy sub-race chart made specifically for Dragonborn. We're going to roll a d6, and then we'll go odds and evens for chromatic and metallic. So also a 5. So it's either going to be black or copper. And we'll roll the d6 again. A 3. Odds. So we have a black Dragonborn. A female... Oh, that's class and level. Black Dragonborn. $42 is the answer. Jake says, contradictory. If Jake Gensel sees a tarantula, he will not survive for another moment. Geez, seems good. Indeed. Alignment is 2 percentiles. 56 and 35. We have a lawful neutral character. That's right. And you know, we've already passed Tell Day as well. Alright, lawful neutral. You don't have to worry about these evil alignment special rules. But we do need to roll percentile to find out what level she is. We rolled a 38, and that is going to bring us to level 10. Okay. That is going to mean 2 stat bumps. One at 4 and one at 8. Let's roll a percentile and find out if any of those are going to be replaced by feats. With a 68, nope. They're going to be 2 ability score improvements, or ASIs. Now we're going to manufacture a D13. Whoa, that's a 24. Don't want that. I only want a 13. And roll for it. Background number 9. She is an Outlander. I put parentheses here because Outlander has 10 different origins, or you know, from the out from where you came. We're gonna roll a d10 and number 10. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna use it as a placeholder and reference it later. Mike, well, I max fishing, so I'm gonna crack the monster manual and check out Black Dragons. Yeah, hey, get some culture, get some advice, Mike. If you have any artistic, you know, you want to even try sketching her. Even if it's a partial sketch or just some, you know, a mechanical pencil on like the back of an envelope or something. Have some fun. Jake says arachnophobia is G-O-O-D good. One crit semi-related. Although I've read it like 6 times, I just realized I forgot to turn off my Audible sub. So, so I bought HHGTTG audiobook. Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Got it. Narrated by Stephen Fry. Totes my jam. Oh, one crit. Did you have did you put up a random roll 20 fact of the day? I completely forgot to bring that up. Over the past couple days, everyone, it's been fun and very handy. But One Crit Wonder has been sharing. Let me find one. Here we go. One Crit Wonder's been sharing a D&D 5e tip of the day. I mean, not that you have to do this every day, One Crit, but I figured I'd give a shout out to you for bringing a little bit of like a fun little knowledge or factoid to light. Uh-oh. So, this is Yandere mode activated. Rycon, hello! Mantrock Arachnophobia. Shame I'm drawing Muffet right now. And her curds and way. Man, the gang's getting back together for another week. Now that we've determined she's an Outlander number 10, let's come down here real quick and roll 2d8 for personality traits. We got a 3 and a 5. And then 3d6, 2, 1, 4. There we go. For an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. Again, these are placeholders. Leave yourself open to randomness. Let it flow through you. Pick up what it gives you. Now we come to the crucial moment. We have 2 of the 3 legs of the stool upon which your character sits. We have a race, we have a background, and now we can do a class. It's a bit of a tease to do it at the end, but doing it this way helps emphasize that, especially in 5th edition D&D, you, as a character, you aren't just a male human fighter or a human fighter. You aren't an elven wizard. You are more than just the sum of your race and class. And your background is an excellent way to help springboard your character into further discussions about her or him. Mantark, the best ones are, says One Crit. That MacPot guy. Oh, Bounty Squad. Oh, snap. We have someone from Steven, the Bounty Hunter, huh? Our Fugitive Recovery, FRS. Sorry, I'm in a hype mood for this character. Well, that's awesome that we have a fellow Bounty Hunter watcher with us. Welcome aboard, and you are definitely welcome here. If any of you, by the way, like if you like tactical encounters or random encounters, or you wonder how people handle conflict in situations, definitely head over to Stephen FRA, all one word, STEPHEN FRA, and watch him and his partner Corey. And these 2 guys, they go out. They're bounty hunters. They stream themselves bounty hunting. And, you know, arresting people and you know, inquiring where they're at. These are all bread and butter D&D skills. You know, how to de-escalate a situation, or even, you know, that you've had this encounter, how you can kind of cool off from it as well, even with the person you've captured in the back of your car. Yeah, did I say something different than that, MacPot? Anyway, thank you for the correction, and thank you for the follow. Undertale would be a nice game to play with the chat. I'd have to buy it, Dark Wolf, but I'm open to that, but we got to finish Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines first. All right, so we have some lewd muffets. We have some fellow bounty hunter appreciations or appreciators. Mike the Canadian says, so long story short, black dragons, intelligent scavengers, enjoy trapping enemies, fear and hate the other dragon races, prefer solitude in swampy / woodland areas. Cheers to you. Clink. Yeah, it's good stuff, Bubonic. He also goes out on the range, and so you can watch him. You can get sort of a gun tutorial or watch him kind of plink at targets. And his ill-fated Tahoe, he's done some repair streams on that because that poor car. All right. We have a big golden D12. Bubonic is probably hoping for not another 2. How many weeks can we go without a bard? Let's hit this D12 and find out. And we'll go... After 1 week off of a bard, we'll have our very first character of this stream be a bard. What are the odds? Now, there are 2 types of bards. You have College of Lore, which are smarty pants, very, like, more focused on spellcasting and skills. Then you have College of Valor, which are, think heroic fighters, frontline fighters. A College of Valor bard will roll up on you with a sword and shield and beat you down with righteous fury and beautiful song. We're going to roll this D12 again and go odds or evens. We go for odds. We have a College of Lore bard. There we go. Bubonic says kill the bot. Paladin, 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 dang, says Rykon. Uh-oh. Oh, you, so Bubonic, the, Bubonic 1 got timed out for a round. Reason, around here we speak common. You are stunned for 1 round. It picked on you because of your approximately 30 periods in a row. It detected as all your symbols as spam. And so it cast a stun spell on you for 1 round. Okay, so let's fill in some physical details as more placeholders, and then we'll get into fleshing out not just the body, but now the mind and the personality of the character. This may be a completely random character we're making, but we can still make her 3-dimensional and compelling, and have her character sheet tell a story of who she is, where she's been, hopes, dreams, etc. And Jake is Jake is daintily dancing around the symbol input. Though that's a very the bot destroyed your backstory. Bubonic now has character amnesia. As a Dragonborn here, we start at 5'6", and we're gonna add 2d8 inches. So we're gonna add 12 inches. That is going to give us a 5'18" character. There we go. Now we're going to take that same 12 and we are going to multiply it by 2d6. So 10, and we're going to add 120 pounds to her base weight. So she's going to be 195 pounds. That's just, she wakes up out of bed, she's in her jams, she scratches her butt, yawns, she is 195. That's not her gear, it doesn't count towards her encumbrance, or to or for or against her push, pull, drag, lift, etc. Alright, now let's determine how old she is. We're going to do this with a percentile roll because we made a bell curve graph of adventuring ages, and Let's find out. Because look, sometimes running like a young prodigy, you know, like, oh, Pokemon, yeah, you know, I'm 10 or 11 going out into the world and, you know, I'm ahead of my time and I'm going to go on this grand adventure. Or we can have older adventurers go out and think about the role playing. Right now, this character can be any age until we determine it. You know, you may have her at 20, 30, right? Because we consider that sort of like prime adulthood. You know, you're probably at your physical peak or something. Well, add 40 years to that. Would you play this same character differently if she was rolling around at 60 instead of 25? Or what if this character was 13 and she was setting out into the world? Which, interestingly enough, by the way, Dragonborn physically mature at, I don't know, like 2 or something. But they don't consider to reach adulthood. Like in the US, it's like you're an adult at 18, right? That's what I mean by the consideration of adulthood. Until later on. But they're physically at their peak very young, 2, 3, or whatever. They're quick growers. Let's roll the percentile. We got a 21, so she is a young adult. Young adult Dragonborn, so that's column 2 right here. And let's kind of cross-reference this coming over. She's between 16 and 25, so we're going to roll a d10. 3. So 16, 17, she's 18 years old. There we go. And we're finished with the random number generation. Now we're gonna close that up. We're gonna go to our player's handbooks and go to Chapter 4, Personality and Background. I do backgrounds first because this is going to help us discover more about our character than just learning what she does via her job or her class, or by just learning her race. Mike the Canadian, I'm not sure, but does the ancestry affect personality or no? I can't remember. Dragonborns are not hard attached to their full draconic kin. They can manifest, similar attitudes. They have some physiology that's the same. So she has those like rich ebony scales. She might have those forward pointing horns. Does she have to? No. If you don't want to give her horns, you don't have to. Or maybe because the Dragonborn have mixed blood, you can give her, I don't know, maybe some kind of, let's see. Oh, you could give her like some sort of rattlesnake pattern, right? Actually, if we come back over here, we have as our acid breath users, we have black and copper. So what she may be considered to have more like a black heritage as a Dragonborn. Think about this. Give her sort of a default of copper scales, and then give her some kind of like diamondback pattern or some sort of, I don't know, harlequin pattern or something along those lines over her body. And this way, like, we know for sure she's. I'm not. If I said poison, I meant acid. If I said acid, then I meant acid. But this way we know for sure that she's an acid spitter, and we know that she has this heritage. Or you could even give her a majority black scales and then give her highlights of copper. Maybe they grow it in as the diamond, or maybe they grow as 3 streaks on her cheeks, or like a stripe down the arm, or something along those lines. Dragonborn do have mixed blood. So if you want to conceptualize her to look like however you'd like, you certainly can. Bubonic One prepares the meteor storm and targets the bot. Musical suggestions: Singing in the Rain. Yep, to go along with Jake's input up there. Pokemon trainers would be horrible in the D&D world. They would have to rely on their Pokemon to protect them. Rycon, there is a 5th edition conversion to Pokemon. So you can play Pokemon in a 5th edition tabletop setting. I'll have to try and find that somewhere. Jake says, never forget Mishi, the ancient Furbolg librarian barbarian. Oh, you had to retire that character, Jake? I forget. Was that the game that just kind of ended? Because I do remember that character you were talking about. Bubonic One says, what happens if the Pokemon decide to eat their trainer? Then the trainer dies? Or the same thing that happens when your dog decides to eat you. Yeah, they're equal to a 10-year-old human at 3 years. Okay, thank you, Mike. She's a cougar for Dragonborn. Hey, GM Vault. GM, I thank you for that video that you posted. I did give you a thumbs up. I liked that initiative tree idea, and I might use that at the public game. And if I do, I'll take a picture of it for you. Because we can get like 14 people sitting down for Curse of Strahd. But we got lore. Oh, and Jake says that, unleash the hounds of hell. Yeah, so Bubonic One, if we're going to get a bard, he'd prefer a Valor bard, but no. Note, black dragons are naturally thin, and as they age, their flesh and scales appear to fade as if acid washed. Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Jake, that was a one-shot I had to retire as a bard. You know, so Mike, in this case, if she was like a shadow run, kind of like, remember, like a present-day, near future, you know, maybe she has like the acid-washed genes, or I don't know, like a something funky like that. Oh, that was the one shot. Yeah, okay, you retired the bard. And then are you still going to be playing D&D over the summer with you with Zoe? Yeah, because I hope so, Zoe. But yeah, thank you for that video, GM Vault, and I made sure to mention it and show it on the Discord here. Dragonborn are kind of their own thing. I mean, if you really want it, Dragonborn are kind of like quarter dragons. So, dragons, humans, or if it doesn't necessarily matter, or you think one race seems more congenial to the next, I don't know, maybe a dragon and a dwarf make a red and a gold. Maybe a dragon and an elf make a, I don't know, a green and a bronze or something along those lines. If you want to have that kind of custom lore, then humans don't have to be the ditto of the D&D universe and just breed everything that's capable of reproduction. You can mix and match. Okay, so we're finished with that. We are going to go to Outlander. These are listed alphabetically, so we're going to scroll a little bit. This could flash. Hang on. Here we go. Outlander. The Zoe game seems to be falling apart. A lot of people I play with in that game are leaving for the summer. The game I play, that Pyromancer Wizard, should be continuing. Okay, well, Jake, if you play, please keep us updated, because your journey of getting into D&D, I mean, especially amid, you know, all the other events in your life, that has been very interesting to follow along. I'm speaking personally, but others here may also have been finding this very interesting and appreciate your contribution to our D&D world that we have going here. GM Vault, you know what they say? Once you go dragon, you need a wheelchair. Mike the Canadian, I've been swimming in half races for a while, and so I just thought Dragonborn was a half race. There is technically a half dragon in the monster manual, Mike, if you look, and they use a red dragon as an example. Dragonborn, if you want to call him a quarter dragon, maybe, or, you know, maybe a dragon and a lizard folk got together. Or again, if you want to take one of the standard races and pineapple pen them together to get various Dragonborns, you do that too. Heck, maybe one in every, you know, whatever, 2,500 Dragonborns is a shiny. Although, for all that the other races have unique traits to them, you know, like different automatic skills, or, you know, Fey ancestry, the dwarven constitution, everything. I have emphasized that the genetic compatibility of humans is their superpower. That is actually what is a strength of theirs that makes them very, very strong and survivable as a species. Is that something that comes up directly in a tabletop adventure? Well, I mean, maybe in a little bit of an NSFW way. It could, or, you might see some tongue-in-cheek illustrations. There's one in particular where, well, I don't want to describe it, but you can find stuff like that kind of hint at, look, humans are the dittos of D&D. If something can bear live children, or heck, even an egg, I guess, it is what it is. But I've used and explored this adaptability and survivability and compatibility with humans to be their overarching survival technique. They don't need something as obvious as poison resistance or the ability to sleep less. It's the ability to survive and adapt and be mutable in various ways. Half Dragon is way more powerful than Dragonborn. Yep, you have said that many times, Bubonic. Although, hey, for the sake of new people who come in and out, it doesn't hurt mentioning. All right, as an Outlander, we get proficiency in athletics and survival. Speaking of swimming, we are going to get a tool proficiency and a musical instrument. We'll leave that a mystery for now, and if something really is tickling your fancy, then so be it. Language, one of our choice. So we're going to start with Common, Draconic, and question mark, question mark, question mark. We are going to get a Quarterstaff, a Hunting Trap. Now this is going in the backpack. An Animal Trophy. This is a good roleplay prompt for you to think, if this is your character, what kind of a trophy would she carry around? What would she have hunted? Does she hunt dragons? Does she hunt mammals, reptiles, birds? Was this from a chance encounter with a dire animal that almost savagely killed her, but she bested it and kept its tooth as in memory of it being like a noble rival kind of a thing? Or actually, is the rival noble still alive? The noble rival. That's a fun name. Noble rival. For all your headache needs, try noble rival. Is it still alive? Was she pounced upon by a saber-toothed tiger, and she managed to beat it back and injure it so it would retreat, but she kept one of the teeth? And so somewhere out there is a one sabered toothed tiger, and it's kind of her Captain Ahab and Moby Dick kind of a thing. So we have an animal trophy, traveler's clothes, belt pouch with 10 gapuz. There we go. Now our origin is number 10. We're going to go back to this placeholder. Ooh, a tribal marauder. All right. Bubonic says, think of the Chinese, what they did to their enemy, the Huns, as an example. They simply absorbed them. Humans in fantasy realms simply did the same, or still do it. Mike says, man, a Dragonborn blade lock looks like something I might try someday. Bubonic one, once a half-orc mates with a human, is that person considered half-orc or human? At what percentage do you set humans at? That's a good question. If you want to bring it up cosmetically, I had a player in my last campaign play a... mechanically was a half-elf, but we played it off as a taboo in the world at the time was for a half-elf to produce a child with a full-blooded elf. And this is what happened, and so she was a 3/4 elf. So she definitely sported an elven appearance. She had an elven appearance, but her eyes were distinctly human. if none of the rest of her obviously was. I mean, I'm sure there was bits and bobs here and there. And so she went on to come up with a religious doctrine and try and spread it around. And so she became known as the Odd-Eyed Prophetess, because everyone thought she was an elf, but her eyes stood out as being human eyes. You know, a little smaller, more round, not as almond-shaped. Maybe not carrying the colors you expect in elven eyes, which may be completely different than those of human eyes. And so she was known as the Odd-Eyed Prophetess as this kind of story development. Oh my, Mantarok. You know, just because the channel is NSFW, PG-13, or I'm not, the channel is safe for work, not NSFW. Because the channel is safe for work in PG-13 doesn't mean that someone can't, blink their eyes and say, hey, so about a private message on Discord, wink. What do I know? Honestly, what do I care? But what do I know? Mike says, I think in one of the books it says that half races that mate with any full race are the offspring as the full. If you want to make a pundit square, hey, we're dropping vocab. If you want to make a pundit square of genetic traits for these kinds of pairings, you can do just that. Oh, Mantarok. We've been summoning you this whole time. The runes are in place. Yep, that's exactly it. So if you want to calculate like eye color or whatever, you have mom and dad, and then you have that you can play tic-tac-toe with genetics and find out what you might end up getting. That's what it's referring to. All right, our background feature is that of a wanderer. We have an excellent memory for maps and geography. We can also find food and fresh water if it is available. Just because you can auto-feed your party, DM, or if you have a character who can do this, DMs, look, if it's the middle of winter, water might be able to be found in the form of snow, but you don't have to produce food, nor do you have to produce water. Or if you do, you can say, yes, you can find enough water for one person or two people, because you go over to a bush in the morning and this is a I was gonna say you go to shake the dew, and that has a whole other implication. But let's stick with the actual like survival, and you actually like go and you're trying to get this pure like morning mist water. So yeah, they can find water, but how are you gonna split it? And it doesn't work in a city, says Evelyn. Yep. Mantarok is using all kinds of otherworldly appendages to simulate the physical form of us mere humans. Because what are we? What are we to Mantarok? Personality traits, and that is a good reminder, Ivalon. Personality traits 3 and 5. I once ran 20... why am I writing it? I once ran 25 miles or a marathon, because that's 25 miles without stopping to warn to my clan of an approaching, we'll put whatever, X horde. It doesn't have to be orcs. It's a good roleplay prompt. I'd do it again if I had to. Well, we're certainly good at athletics, aren't we? 5. I place no stock in wealthy or well-mannered folk. Money and manners won't save you from a hungry owlbear. Or insert monster here. Mike says, it works. You'll just have to answer to the guards asking you about your harvesting of the merchant stands. That, or your companions are going to look at you when you're like, I found water, I found fresh water, you'll never believe it. You know, a spring in the middle of town, and they're like, that's the well. Pat, pat, pat. Good girl, you found the water in the well. Pat, pat, pat. Ideals, head pats. Bonds, those who give her head pats. Ideals 2. The greater good. It is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. She is lawful neutral. This is generally assigned to good. That is perfectly fine and still works. Each of these are placeholders that form a part of a personality, none of which have to be purely expressed through one or the other. Her bond is number 1. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. And the character's flaw, number 4. I am slow to trust members of other races, tribes, and societies. And that works very well to dovetail into her bond. It doesn't mean she has to be hostile towards them. She's just slow to trust. Or, so if she hangs out in, in a certain region, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a blood tie. It seems to imply heavily. But take the concept and just step to the side with it. Maybe she's attached to a region instead. You can think outside the box. You have a margin around each of these that you can use to squish and pull and, bop it and twist it and everything. All right, so we have an idea now for who she is, where she's been, what she's been doing. Now let's go and find out, as a black Dragonborn, what does she get? What defines her? All right. Our ability score is going to be strength increases by 2. And our charisma score increases by 1. Hey, we're a bard. That comes in handy. Age and alignment we have. Size, we are a medium-sized creature. Our speed is 30 feet, and that's going to give us a 15 climb, a 15 swim, and a 0 fly. Here's our draconic ancestry. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can read it. Here, this has been kind of has been set up, but for old time's sake, whoop 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 whoop. All right, now I can bounce back over. Fun times. Whip, 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 whip. I think there's about right. Oh, Black Dragonborn has acid. A line of acid. All right, so we come down here to race. We have draconic ancestry. You can choose one type of dragon from the table. Your breath weapon and damage resistance are determined. Our DR, we're gonna have resistance against acid. If we come over here, let's zoom in a little bit on this custom sheet. You see where it says IRV for immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities? All you have to do, fill in that middle dot right there for acid. We are resistant to acid damage because we are a Black Dragonborn. This is going to give us A breath weapon. 5 by 30-foot line of acid. DC, we'll figure out the DC. Save takes half. I find the idea of a Dragonborn who drools when they space out and just acid drips out down their clothing. I was thinking that, Mike. Like, so kind of nodding off in sleep. Or nodding off in sleep and just a little bit kind of comes out. Or, you know, you're giving her head pets and she's just like, oh, this is wonderful. Drool. Maybe she feels a little awkward because, you know, overall with the Dragonborn, there's probably a stigma against, you know, resuscitation or certain shows of affection. So if someone can actually accept her for this, it means so much to her. And and by golly, if Dragonborns had tails because they don't, it would certainly like perk right up and kind of like, yay. Just have their clothing speckled with small scars and holes. So you see, she's actually in the fashion industry, and she distresses clothing, and therefore she charges 20 gold pieces more for new damaged clothing than for you just buying some old jeans at Goodwill or some cheap new jeans at Walmart and just rubbing them on concrete for a while yourself. All right, there's our resistance. There's our breath weapon. It's going to be based on con. Let's see. We are level 10, so we're just on the cusp of it going from 3d6 to 4d6. Line of 3d6 acid damage. Selling damaged clothing. What are they, Kanye? Or American Eagle, or probably the Gap does it too. Banana Republic, I'm sure, has distressed clothing. You know, you go and buy a ball cap and you just rub the end of it on concrete, and then you can upsell the exact same product. You just charge like $5-10 more for it because someone else damaged your clothes for you. Mike says, I would see mending as a personal necessity from the character's point of view. You know what, Mike? That Mabuki is an excellent roleplay consideration. Every morning she might wake up and have to perform mending on her pillow or her blanket or her shirt or her armor or something along those lines. You know, it could be a very embarrassing thing. Yep, that's right, Pat. Breath weapon, DR, we have that, and languages, we already have that filled in. So, congratulations, we have a Black Dragonborn with some very creative roleplay input that will help with spell selection. D-Floof, just kind of lurking today after the stream, but I wanted to stop. D-Floof, thank you for sharing that you were broadcasting. You know that I normally try and pop in when you guys post. I was out and about all day, so I couldn't really do it. Otherwise, I really go out of my way to try and pop in and at least say hi. But D-Floof, a.k.a. Orc, welcome. Lurk away. I hope you had an awesome stream, and thank you for sharing a notification with us that you're doing so. Yep, Dragonborn hype Floof. With some compelling RP behind her. All right, let's go to Bard. Collapse Chapter 2, go to Chapter 3. And here we go. Bards are D8, hit die class. And because we're level 10, yay, we get 10 of them. Just that easy. We get light armor proficiency. And we are going to get, let's see, simple weapons. Hand crossbows. Long and short swords, and rapiers. You just got home a short bit ago, so I couldn't watch any streams. Well, hey, welcome home, Pat, and thank you for any of the streams that you can be watching or at least popping in and saying hi on, that you are here, that you're here with us. And also, Pat, I don't know if any of them had come from your community, but I did notice that over the past 2 days when I wasn't streaming, I did have a couple people follow the channel, even though we weren't broadcasting live. And I remember you saying that you shared a link with your D&D community, and so some people might be coming over. And if that's the case, then thanks to you, our community has grown by 2 or 3 people over the days that we have not been broadcasting. Mike says, you know, the most unbelievable thing I've seen or not seen to say in D&D, no one player-wise has ever had a cold. That's true. I think in many cases. How many times have we had our characters stop a march down a country road to the next town to go pee, you know, or to, you know, do you actually just have like a low level cold or allergies, right? You know, little stuff. And so, Mike, that is some flavor that you could always sprinkle in. You know, is it a disease that, you know, is it like mummy rot? No, but you can flavor it in a particular fashion to make the world come a little bit more alive for your players. You've been talking in the channel up to various groups. Well, thank you for that networking, Pat. And just like I told you, and we're concluding the week, if you're happy with the channel and you're recommending it, you or anyone else who's out there and providing referrals, I want to continue to earn that trust and the referrals that you're bringing to us. Dead by the bubonic plague? All rats. Oh, we're on a whole new level now. We're not just getting dad jokes. We're getting elder jokes. Yeah, Mike. A party just rolls in and... Do you have any decaffeinated coffee with non-dairy creamer? And as well, I want to make sure that my unleavened bagels are made with gluten-free, fair trade, organic certified wheat. We're going to get 3 musical instruments of our choice. Therefore, our mystery instruments, this is a one-woman band. She is going to be proficient on 4 different instruments. Now, something else, by the way, if we're talking about stepping sideways or working within margins, you could ask your DM if instead of instruments, could you have a proficiency in some kind of a talent? Now, could that relate to a skill? Maybe. Or if you wanna say, okay, Mr. or Ms. DM, I would like to know 2 instruments, but I would really like to know how to juggle, and I'd really like to know how to breathe fire. Now, you can find those 2 entries. If your DM's like, I don't want to go too far off the beaten path, go to the entertainer background, and there's something like 10 or 12 or something different acts that you can take up as an entertainer. And maybe you can pitch to your DM if you want to do a little bit more than just play 4 instruments, because how many times is your character going to play 4 different instruments? I don't know, maybe often, for all I know. But be a little creative. Stick within the source book and say, can I be good at something else instead? A talent. Because juggling... Can you think of a lot of different ways that maybe you could juggle in a scenario? Either as a performance or to distract a guard or something along those lines. I once played a mage. I was allergic to cats. And when he got his familiar, it was a cat. That sucked. Can't even escape when it's magical fur. Oh yeah, I like a one-man band setup. You know, and it's very interesting, Pat, that that bards do get proficiencies with so many different instruments, especially when they do have access to the minor illusion cantrip, which means that they can play up to 3 other instruments simultaneously in a in a fashion. So you want to talk about a one-man band setup? You're playing your lute or your flute or something else that doesn't have to rhyme with either of those. So you're playing one instrument. I don't know, maybe you're even like banging on a drum with your foot, or if Dragonborns had tails, she could do that. And then you magically have 3 minor image sounds going behind you. You've set yourself up. Oh, speaking of bands, I don't have any background music playing. Give me 1 second here. What do we have? Let's bring up. Here we go. All right. Yeah, juggling knives, throwing skills, sword swallowing, comedy, like just like jokes, something like that. A routine. You must use the greatest musical instrument to be created, the didgeridoo. You know what? And I'd play mine too if it didn't have a big crack down it, Mantarok. But yes, the didgeridoo is really neat. Or here's a very interesting instrument slash signal. Let me make sure that I'm calling it the right name, because it's been a little while. I thought it was a, alright, I need your all's help out here. I thought it was called the bullhorn. But I mean, that's obvious, right? It's a bull's horn hollowed out that you toot through it. The instrument that I have in mind, it's something, it could be a horn or it's something similar to a didgeridoo, but you have it on the end of a string. And so you swing it, right? Almost like a sling, but it's not a weapon. But as you swing it, it just goes whoa, 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 whoa. Do you know the name of that instrument? Because it's escaping my mind right now. A vuvuzela. Go for Rhapsody of Fire, some other power metal. Have Crocodile Dundee in the moment. That's not a knife. Pulls out his own Bowie knife. Now this is a knife. Or he pulls a spoon and you say, that's not a knife, that's a spoon. Oh, I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. But yeah, do any of you know the name of that instrument? It's like at the end of a string or 2 strings, and you swing it, and it just makes like a droning sound as you swing it. A bull roarer! That's it, Mantarok. Thank you. It's not a bull horn. Whoops. A bull roarer. That is it. Thank you, Pat, and thank you for the follow-up link. If you want a really cool way to communicate with your party members, take a look at the bull roarer. I mean, it just sounds cool to say too, doesn't it? Oh, you got your slob set up, Ivalon. Excellent. I was talking to people about your plight earlier when we were opening up the session. Got to get that red gold Dragonborn to provide the pyrotechnics for the show. You know, in the current campaign, we have a gold one, and she has adapted a stovepipe to be a quasi flute, and she actually has little burn marks on the or actually she keeps a vellum, and she has put little like singe burn marks in their own pattern. And so the party had to discover what was going on because they're trying to chase after this bard. And so they had traditional sheet music, and they found this like randomly burnt page, and they ended up pineapple penning them together. And they saw that on this like stovepipe, like, so it would be like a sawed-off didgeridoo made of metal, right? So she was playing this because remember, Dragonborn have 4 fingers, and you know they're kind of sausage fingers. So she would play it, and when she was reading the music, she would see that a note or several notes were accompanied by this singe mark, like, you know, a very faint black mark that's encompassing them. And that is when she would blow a puff of fire through the modified stovepipe and provide not only a little pyrotechnic display, but the way that it would like roar or whoosh through the pipe would accent the note. And so she was very famous and known for composing unique pieces using her natural talent and her breath weapon. All right, we are going to get some musical instruments, saving throws of dexterity and charisma. We're going to fill in the diamond here and the diamond here. There we go. And we're going to choose any 3 skills. We're going to get more than 3 skills. I'm just going to write down here that we are going to get 3 skills. She would do good to set up bagpipes for her abilities. Hey, Plunder Loot. It's good to see you. Actually, Plunder, I was also talking up your review of Derek's game along with Miss Rose's. Bagpipes would be interesting, for sure, Pat. Well, first night back having 2 jobs again. Ah. Well, you have to keep your gentleman's refreshment station going, Mr. Plunderloot. Pinky's out. Equipment. We are going to get a rapier, longsword, or any simple weapon. Alright, I'm going to type in here a bard weapon. And we can go back and fill it in. But we should be thinking by this point, are we going to be building a strength bard or a dex bard? Or do we want kind of a mix? Is she adaptable that way? Mike the Canadian, alright, be right back. No problem, sir. Did you enjoy the review? Yes. Yes, for my whiskey slush fund. Yes, Plunder Loot. You did a wonderful job recapping. That was really, really neat. And if anyone has questions about, I don't know if I should play, this game, it seems strange. Whew, I think you two sold it. Diplomat's pack or an entertainer's pack? Let's see. I think more of an entertainer, right? She's from the Outlands. She was a tribal marauder. She clings to her family, so she probably knows a lot of songs from her family or her clan. Each person's responsibilities to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. I think in this case she's going to go with the entertainer's pack. Now, that I think comes with a costume, and I recommend it's not a full alter ego like what Charlatan provides you as a background, but list what the costume is. Don't just leave it there. Roleplay with the costume. Alright, so there's our entertainer's pack, a lute or some other instrument. So we're going to put down instrument of some kind. We are going to get leather armor. And a dagger. Spellcasting, we're not really going to worry about. But as we are looking at level 10, right, that's going to be everything in this box. It may seem like a lot. If you're a newcomer, if you're not sure, don't let this spin your head. We got this. One step at a time. And if you have questions about the process, about terminology, like what does wanderer mean? And why is it under something called background? Stop and ask. I may be presenting a character to you, but this is supposed to be interactive. Leave a fingerprint on this character. This isn't my character. This is our character that we're making. Alright, so we're going to come back to spells when we have stats. And you'll notice we don't have stats right now, and that's fine. We want to know who this character is first before we assign, some cold hard numbers in math. Okay, we're going to get some bardic inspiration. I'm gonna address that down here as BI. This lets you support your party by kind of shouting out a warning, singing a tune, you know, a little, and this'll inspire people around you to roll better. We are also going to get Jack of all trades, or in this case, Jill of all trades. For skills in which we are not proficient, we can add half, rounded down, of our proficiency bonus. If you're new to D&D, that's probably like... you can stop and ask, or just follow along and trust me that we'll get there. In other words, it makes you pretty good at everything. Like, you're very well-rounded. We are also going to get Song of Rest. So as the party members are, you know, kind of camping for the evening, or they're resting between battles, you're going to heal for more because you're in higher spirits. Let's see, at 1d8 at 9th level. All right, Song of Rest, 1d8. We're going to get our Bardic College. That's going to be our archetype down here. We are also going to get Expertise. Expertise allows us to be even better, actually at this point, in 4 different skills. We're going to get to add our proficiency bonus twice. So think about, with this character and her concept, Dorak the Merciless, thank you. And by the way, Dorak, welcome back. I remember when we first met, it was during the front page event, and I remember you, man, because your name reminds me of a very compelling character my friend rolled. Thank you very much, Dorak. That means a lot. Heart back to you as well, friend. You still think Jack of all trades is one of the strongest abilities in the game? I agree, Jake. And the fact that you can splash it so easily by taking 2 levels of Bard, it makes it very universal. You can have a lot of very talented people in your party if they're willing to splash that in. Could I toss a YouTube link to the Flaming Bagpiper? Yeah, please do, Pat. You can drop it here in chat, and if you want, you can also put it in the YouTube section on Discord. Dorak, so this is an all randomly generated character. We have a female Black Dragonborn College of Lore Bard level 10, who is an Outlander of the tribal Marauder variety. And we've gone through and we've talked about her personality and how she conveys herself. And so we're working on who she is, and then we'll assign her some scores. You remember playing an Eye of Grumsh once? That would be some interesting role-playing, Mantarok. Did you have fun doing that? Thank you, Pat, for sharing that link. All right. Ability score improvement. Font of Inspiration. We can get our inspiration back on a short rest now. We're also going to be able to counter charm. So if a dryad comes out and you know, she pops out of a tree and she's like, "Oh my, I need help with something. Come over here, wanderer." And you know, your bard can look at her and say, you know, "Not today, thought," and boo, power chord on the lyre. And suddenly your friend kind of goes, "Whoa, what was I? Oh, I was about to do that same thing. Thank you for saving me." And some magical secrets. By 10th level, you have plundered magical knowledge from a wide spectrum of disciplines. Choose 2 spells from any class, including this one. A spell you choose must be of a level you can cast, as shown on the Bard table or cantrip. Yes, a Dragonborn. I did acid spit any chance I could. Pat says, I could just imagine a Dragonborn doing that set. I'll have to watch that in a bit. Actually, I'll open it up in a side link. Maybe I can even put that, maybe I'll play, it's a short clip. I'll play that when we come back from break here in a little bit. All right. Now, as we're going College of Lore, We know 3 more proficiencies, and so we're going to go to 6 skills. Again, if you want to step sideways and consider other options, you could ask your DM if you go, please. Maybe instead of taking 3 new skills, that person would allow you to take expertise in 3 skills. Or, I don't know, choose 3 skills and get advantage with those 3 skills. I don't know. Talk it out. Whatever you do, if you're going to step sideways, with things like this, do yourself and your DM a favor and have a pitch ready. Pitch the idea, throw it out for roleplay, and if honestly you think, yeah, this could probably be abused or broken, bring it up with your DM. Look your DM in the eye. Say, look, this could probably be broken later on when I have a very high proficiency bonus. For reasons right now at level 1, I would like super expertise, or I would like advantage on these throws. Because for roleplay reasons X, Y, or Z that I've already done or I will do in the future. Flex your creative muscle even at character creation. This book, the Player's Handbook alone, is all you need and could theoretically be all you ever need because it's an excellent springboard. Alright, we're also going to get cutting words. And we're going to put that down here with Bardic Inspiration because it shares this, it's a rider. It's the same thing but different. We're going to get additional magical secrets. At 6th level, you learn 2 spells of your choice from any class. A spell you choose must be of a level you can cast, as shown on the Bard table, or it can be a cantrip. So we're going to get additional magical secrets. So we're going to put an X2 so we know we get 2 skills here. And we're not quite at Peerless skill. Let's go back real quick. Counter charm. You learn 2 of any class at 14th. Okay. So magical secrets up here is going to be ×2. So we can choose 4 spells from anything that we want. So congratulations. We almost have a completed character concept. Now we got to put in the crunch. We have a beautiful chassis, right? She's polished, ready to go, all shined up, but is missing an engine. Let's drop an engine in her. Although we should probably pick skills first. We're going to get 6 more skill proficiencies. And any 4 of her skills she can have expertise in. Remember, that's twice proficiency bonus. So I once ran 25 miles. And she would run 25 more. Without stopping. Well, she's already proficient in athletics. Otherwise, I'd say that really speaks athletics. Though, if we wanted to say maybe that could reflect in perception, so she could scout ahead and always like see their movements. Let's see what else. I place no stock in wealthy or well-mannered folk. Money and manners won't save you from a hungry owlbear. She has survival. That kind of speaks to survival. That could also speak to her perhaps having knowledge nature. The greater good, it's each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. That could very well then be performance. Let her skills speak to who she is. If you do it differently at your tabletop, and you say, well, okay, I'm this person, and I'm the sneak guy, and I'm the whatever guy, whatever. You can do that, and you can sort of exclusively set yourselves up with a little bit of overlap. For the exercises we do here, and in all honesty, make a character that's true to your character concept. Your party might lack a stealth person, but so what? You'll find a way around it. Roleplay, think creatively, challenge yourself. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. So that could be history. I'm slow to trust members of other races, tribes, or societies. Maybe that means that we can give her insight, because she'll be constantly trying to read into people that she's uncomfortable around. So if we do that, if you want to offer your own skills for who she is, please feel free to do so. We get to choose any 6 and almost everything's on the table still. But if we go through this methodology and this thinking, this is going to be history, nature, probably medicine, right? For the benefit of everyone, we want to help each other out. Performance. We said perception. And we get one more of some kind. If she's really about her tribe, her people, that could be religion. I don't think it would be deception. Unless if she's slow to trust, she might deceive people. We could probably give her deception, or we could give her religion. I don't know if she's necessarily persuasive, because it seems like she's the type of person that you persuade her. She's not here to tell you anything else about her. Because she's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Hey, JT, good to see you again. So yeah, let's give her deception. And we get 4 expertise. What would she be really good at doing? If she can run marathons and she do it again, probably athletics. Probably performance. Probably survival. And tribal marauder. Probably, if she's here as more of a support, even though she's a marauder. I mean, you need field surgeons and people. Why don't we give her medicine? If you have another recommendation, again, you're welcome to put it out there. You know, put a little blurb like, no, I think it'd be perception because reasons. Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, you've been busy with work. It sucks. Haven't been home for a while. No, JT, look, you don't have to apologize to me. Are you working? Are you paying your bills? You're able to, take care of yourself, any loved ones and or pets or payments or whatever. Look, you got to live your life first, brother. And if you do that, and then you choose to spend some of your leisure time with us here, it's all the more meaningful. Right? This is a no obligation channel. If you're here, it's because you want to be here and you like to be here. All right, so we have everything we need for our character, except, again, her engine. So let's drop an engine in her. Given her background, I think we should be going with a strength bard. Eltane, hello to you as well. Hello. Why don't we give her, if we go 15 here, remember we're using a standard array for her scores. Eltane, thank you very much for the follow. If you have any questions or comments on what we're doing, if you're a newcomer to D&D or role-playing, hey, speak up and say so, and we can share advice, stories, answer your questions. Or if you've been playing forever and you're an old pro, hey, share some stories, or otherwise, pull up a chair. You're at a table in a game store, and welcome to you and others. New player here, though I've DM'd for a few months. Interesting, so you started DMing and now you're a new player? Or is it a little bit of both? Still, all the same, welcome, and I'm happy you found us. We're building our first of 2 characters tonight, completely randomly generated, and we're going through and we're considering who she is as we're building her. You'll notice we've built an entire character without even caring or worrying about her scores. Because if you're role-playing your character, even a bard like this, You don't have to have a maximum charisma. You don't have to min-max or do anything like that. This and this will help make up for stats. Now, with a high strength, I think she's also going to be very healthy. We should give her a 14 in con. Let's give her a 13 in dex. We do need a little bit of defense here. Let's go 12 in strength. 10 in wisdom. And 8 in intelligence. She may not be the smartest, but when it comes to history and nature, which she holds dear, she knows more than a general well-knowledged character. Doesn't mean she's dumb. It just means that she's specialized in the things that she's good at. And in fact, with Jill of all trades, because it's a female character, it's going to get rounded up anyway, and that 8 almost won't make a difference when it comes to skills. Well, my first 2 tabletop RPGs were Call of Cthulhu and Ars Magica as a player in both. I started D&D as a DM and just joined a campaign as a player last night. Oh, awesome. Oh, exclamation point Discord. Yeah, Eltane, look, if you want to share your stories, yes, we concentrate on D&D here, but you are going to find role players who have... Actually, Ivlon just ran a one-shot Call of Cthulhu for members of the community. I think Ivlon and some others have played or are familiar with Ars Magica. It came up in conversation last week, I want to say. If not, it was the week before at the latest. With everyone in here in our years, I bet if we added up our playtime, you know, as gamers and or DMs, there's probably easily over 100 years of roleplay experience in the chat right now. GM Vault, D&D sucks. Pony Finder is the best role-playing game ever. And you forgot to equip your sunglasses to make you 20% cooler, good sir. I love Ars Magica so much, but it's hard to find anyone for it. Eltane, if you come over here and you drop... Well, that's video games. If you come over here to our Discord, you are welcome, even as a new member to our community, to say, you know, this is who I am, I'm available on these times, I'm comfortable with these mediums, and I'm looking for these games. I'm sure you can find others who either know Ars Magica or who are willing to learn as a GM or as a player alongside you. This is a community. This isn't just me presenting content to you. This is an interactive culture that we are fostering here. And as much as you want to engage in it, Eltane, you are welcome to do so. If you want to sit back and quietly lurk and just sort of like absorb, tips, tricks, mechanics, you can do so. Or if you want to, pop right in there, you can do that as well. Eltane, I'd also recommend not just there's fun chat in Table Talk. Yep, there's Mantarok, and there's Eltane as well. Go into our Tales from the Tabletop and read the experiences of others. If you want to be a better role player and or GM, go into our Tales from the Tabletop and read what people have done at their own sessions. You have so much content here for you to enjoy. Different games, it's not all just D&D either. Would you mind if I asked a few questions about D&D character building? The people I'm playing with are power gamers, stuff like Sorkaden, and I want to do my best to keep up. Yeah, Eltane, you are very much welcome to. You're very much welcome to ask away. Just because I'm presenting a random character or we're talking about something doesn't mean you can't ask a question. Always ask. This chat box, this is the channel. What you see up here, this helps, but this isn't the channel. Oh, and we have a new arrival too, Trefus. So Trefus, if that is your name here in in Twitch, you don't have to do anything. For you or others, like I know Mantrox hanging out in Eltane, that's your name here. If you're joining, make sure that your Discord handle matches Twitch. That way it's a little easier for me to remember you and we can interact. And also, do not be afraid. Like, I'll answer questions, but if you ask a question, you could possibly get several other people giving you advice. And sometimes that advice might conflict. Or you might get 3 solid answers that are different. Well, congratulations. Just giving you an answer, yeah, that can help. But wouldn't you rather have a buffet to choose from? Wouldn't you rather have options? So interact, ask, and have fun. Okay, hey Treffus. No problem. Yeah, I saw it. I checked real quick and you are good. GM Vault, power gamers are okay as long as every player is a power gamer. You really run into problems with only 1 or 2 in a group. And Game Master says, I am a buffet. If we go through and we add in our racial modifiers, that's going to give us a 14 strength and a 16 charisma. At level 4 and level 8, we are going to be getting ASIs, or ability score increases. We rolled that she was not getting feats. So now we can assign 4 points as we will. And, you know, it could make sense. Yeah, do we want to raise our charisma? Yeah, possibly. You know, that could make sense. Or if we're happy with her charisma being at 16, because what if she takes a lot of buffs? What if you don't always have to hit with every single spell? I mean, if you want to raise it, you can. Right? We do that. But why don't we go over here? And what if we... Look, she's from the Outlands. Yeah, she knows some sword play. She can swing a sword or her quarterstaff. What if we went here and we dropped it in Constitution? You're like, whoa, 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 hang on. This is a bard. She's not going to be getting hit. Well, I don't know. She's not going to have the best AC, and she's a tribal marauder. There should be not really a reason why she shouldn't go in. And she can also take magical spells that can buff her in combat or heal. I don't think she's afraid of combat, you know? And so we can build kind of a glass cannon. Although in this case, you know, her defenses may not be high, but she'll have a good hit point pool. And remember, before you clench up too much, her breath weapon is based on Constitution. So we'll give her a swell amount of hit points. We'll increase her breath weapon, and roleplay wise, we have built a tribal marauder bard. GM Vault, hey, thank you. Thank you for the bits. You are number 1. Now that we've assigned her scores, she is no longer just a set of numbers and has earned her name. If you have a suggestion for this Black Dragonborn's name, you are welcome to offer it here. Pat says, take everything with a grain of salt and choose what advice fits your style and need. Good advice on choosing advice. Or is it? Plunder Loot with the thumbs up. Memory Lapse. Sometimes you can address it to your DM, and the DM can ask the power gamers to slow down and cool off a bit. Other times, the DM will instill things that will cause slower gameplay. A lot of power gamers in D&D stem from League players that go to events and are on a time limit to complete the run. Yeah, yep. They are born from the Crucible. You know, the Spartan Crucible of combat and time limits. Eltane says, okay, so for background, we're starting at level 3 with an uncommon magic item of our choice that has to fit the character, along with a free feat if we rolled for stats. I ended up rolling and got 16, 11, 11, 10, 10, 6 before modifiers and picked Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. As a Dwarven Forge Cleric who wants to eventually multi-class either Ranger or Druid, do you have any advice? Also, I actually really like power gaming. I just don't know how to do it well in D&D. So it's not an issue that the other players are. All right, are you building... Well, with that said, Eltane, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, if not, correct me and I'll do my best. Are you trying to power game this character, or are you really wanting to get into flavor? like into roleplay country with this character. Okay, all right. I'm glad that I am Eltane. 2, 1, 3, -1, 0, and 4. This would be a perfect chance to do a round table creation with the group. Well, I care more about flavor, but want to be able to keep it up. Well, so what we can do, Pat, is I'll finish this character and I'll take my break to go refresh myself. And when we come back, Eltane, I can open up this character sheet and we can build this character with you. And we can all have input on it. Does that sound good to you? Do you have a little bit of time to hang out for a little bit and then we'll build this character on stream? Memory lapse. If you like power gaming but need time to adjust to the idea of it, you can ask the DM to help ease you into it a little bit more. Alright, well then stick around for a little bit longer here, Eltane, and I will load up a character sheet with the basics that you have, and we'll build. We'll follow Pat's suggestion here. Okay, Trefus, no problem. Now we're going to take these numbers and we're going to populate the rest of the sheet with them. For example, we go to, we're level 10. We have a +4 proficiency bonus. These are D10s. We are going to have an armor class of leather starts at 11 plus dexterity. Yay, an armor class at 12. Let's go to hit points. At first level, unless your DM says, well, I mean, the book says, but I guess your DM could say it otherwise, you get your maximum hit die worth of hit points. Now, for every level beyond first, you get half +1, unless your DM says otherwise and has you roll for it. I recommend half +1. It's easy. It's to your advantage as a PC. It works. It scales. In this case, then, we have 9, because remember, we already have our hit points for level 1. 9 times 5, because that is half of 8 plus 1. And, but wait, there's more. For every level, therefore 10, all 10 levels, you get your Constitution modifier in bonus hit points. Therefore, 3. Here's our complex algebra in D&D. This is 30. This is 45. 75 plus 8. Whoop. We have a Bard sitting on 83 hit points. Isn't that something? In the old days, we rolled our HP, says old man Evelyn. And if we got a 1, well, concern it, we liked it. We made do. Hey, Derek. Just got halfway through your maid game today. Looking forward to Promethean. Lady Atara, hey. So I hope it was entertaining. Yes, it's a personal preference of everyone at the table as to what kind of game they're going to play. I'm killing myself laughing due to DW. You will botch your roll and you will like it. Oh, jeez. She's awesome. She wanted to roll up a new character, so this is one from the different one. GM Vault, it's when there are 2 different types of games being played. Yeah, that creates a lot of friction. That is very solid, GM. All right, now, initiative. Initiative is a dexterity check. And so you're thinking, oh, that's going to be 1. Nay, nay. It's going to be 3. It's going to be 3. Why is it 3? If we come down here, Jack of all trades allows you to add half of your proficiency rounded down to an ability check. Skills are ability checks. Initiative is an ability check. Jill of all trades or Jack of all trades applies to your initiative. Don't forget that. Oh, also we have 0 dark vision. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, and I coined the term androgynoid for her because she randomly turned into a dude. Or Ryan for not trap. Trapbot engaged. Commence awkward confusion protocol. I also find mismatched players to GM. I could never run Maid as well as Iv because I don't know the harem Maid anime tropes like he does, so I can't play off of them as much. Yvonne says yes. I am a massive weeaboo. All right. Strength save is 2 because that's based off the mod. Jack of all trades does not apply to saves. It applies to ability checks, not saving rolls. Athletics is 2, and if you look, we're proficient. That's 6. Aha. If you see, we filled in the other little dot. You know, that's no moon. Correct. This indicates expertise, meaning we are adding proficiency twice, and therefore athletics is sitting at a 10. 1 plus 4 is 5. She may not have the best dexterity, but she is proficient at it. Acrobatics is going to be 3, 3, and 3. Remember, there's your modifier. Here is your proficiency. Jack of all trades applies half of 4, so 2, to skills in which you are not proficient. Constitution is 3. Intelligence saving throw is going to be -1. However, Arcana is sitting at 1. Investigation 1. Religion is 1. -1, right? We go to 0 and then 1 because we're adding 2. History has normal proficiency. So this is going to be 3. And nature's going to be 3. Wisdom saving throw is 0. Animal handling is 2. Insight is 2. Now we have a mix. Perception is 4. Medicine is 8. Survival is 8. We may not have a modifier, but we have twice proficiency. Charisma is going to be 8 for the saving throw. Deception is 8. Intimidation is 6. Persuasion is 6. And performance is going to be the highest of all. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 4 again from expertise. And we have a 12 performance. Memory lapse. Sad, sad days we are in. Everybody wants to be a power gamer. LOL. Not saying power gaming is a bad thing, and it has its scene, but nobody wants to enjoy the exploration and story anymore. Found a module that has been under the radar for a while. It came out in Europe years ago and has a totally different gameplay. It rewards players with experience, not through traditional sense of combat and such, but instead through roleplay and political play. It's called Beyond the Crystal Vein. It also punishes adventurers that like to murder hobo. I hope you enjoyed my dramatic reading of your of your presentation, Memory Lapse. Maddie, I should do some dramatic reading streams sometime. Pat, so you'd roll a d20 plus skill versus the DC. I don't play 5e, so this is a learning experience. Oh, you like that memory lapse? All I needed was the pipe that blew bubbles. I have one. Keep checking the PDF and closing as I keep seeing power escalation compared to the OSR system. Well, I'm glad this is informative for you, Pat. Let's see. For our weapons, whoops, I wrote them as cantrips. We're going to give her a longsword, because she's a strength bard. And no one can ignore the girth of her blade. We already have our 6 skills. We can get rid of that. Okay, to calculate attack, if you're proficient with the weapon, hey, you get proficiency. And then you simply plug in the ability modifier of whatever's required to wield the weapon. All 3 of these weapons can be used with strength. Dagger, however, because it is a finesse weapon as a keyword, can be based off of dexterity, but we're just going to go for stabby, not tricks. In that case, we're going to be swinging with strength-based weapons with a +6. So we're just going to go down the line. Similarly, your bonus damage on top of your weapon damage has the bonus damage reflected from the appropriate abilities modifier. So if you're going stabbity stab with a dagger, you're going to be rolling the 1d4 from the dagger and the +2 damage from your muscles. Longsword is 1d8 +2. However, if wielded in both hands, because it is a versatile weapon, I'm going to put 1d10 V to indicate versatile. You can roll a d10 instead. And a quarterstaff, I believe, is 1d6 +2 and 1d8 V. Also, daggers do have a range. I don't indicate it, but it's in Chapter 5 equipment. We are going to have 4 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, crunch. What's nice about this character sheet is it puts it on page 1 for you. Also, let's take a look at our spell slots. Ease of reference, 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2. We're going to have 4 uses of Bardic Inspiration because that is our Charisma modifier. And our spell attack, because we are proficient, treat it like a weapon, but it's magic. 4 + 4 is 8. At least last I checked. To determine the difficulty class of saves for your spell, you add 8 to whatever your attack is. In this case, if I'm a goblin and you're throwing something like a fireball at me and I need to roll for half damage or whatever, I would need a 16 or greater to get out of it. JT, I can never find a group that just wants to become furniture craftsmen and roleplay our old age. Hey, I don't know, JT. Post something up in our TG area on the Discord. You might find people willing to do that. Wouldn't that be something? Look, in Cowboy Bebop, there's the 3 old men who are always in the background playing games. You better believe they have seen some stuff in their days. And you know what, JT? Even if you don't roleplay as the furniture carving old men, every part of a campaign is a flashback to some point in their life when they were going on an adventure or a misadventure. How about that for a concept? Pat, and that's how many licks it takes to get to the center of a lollipop. Delcorin says, say no to avocado. That's a very good rhyme. Yes, the leader of the anti-avocado faction. Oh, by the way, passive perception, 10 plus your perception modifier. This represents your natural awareness, and it prevents you from having to roll dice all the time for just going around detecting things. You can still call for specific checks, or your DM might, but passive perception is something great for you and your DM to know. Coffee Cat, hey, welcome. I say no to avocado all the time. The current PCs could realize they're sitting at the table that the old craftsman created. Oh, Pat, that's a cool idea. In fact, JT, kind of springboarding off of that, what if we had that as the theme for the campaign this week? So instead of one big campaign, we would make like, I don't know, 3 or 4 little ones. And then we would show like the progression of the characters as they age, they get more levels, you know, maybe things happen, you know, one adventure and then 5 years pass and one of them has already been like married and divorced. One of them has like 2 kids but is out doing this to get some money, you know, and we incorporate that in. So the whole journey is these are like these old men or something. Or the newcomers, like what Pat was saying, it's sort of like reading some, like, I don't know, graffiti, some scratches as the old men were talking. They just sort of like left little notes on the table for future adventures. And so it's actually the new adventures piecing together what happened based on the scrawlings in this table that these men would always just come in and eat and sit at. That'd be a good setting for a one shot. Yeah, for a series of them. There you go, JT, you're onto something, man. Monetize it. Get $11 billion. The avocado stands for everything we despise, like guacamole. And that Garnier Fructis that has avocado in it, specifically. Derek says, you are the old adventurers that keep trying to save the youngins from themselves without letting them know it's actually you saving their butts. You hope they'll get stronger, but instead they get more and more reckless because they think that they are good, and so it gets more and more hilarious as a bunch of old men struggle to keep up with the youngins. Yeah. That's great. So actually, each of the missions is taking like, it's almost like a clandestine escort quest where you get like a bunch of level 2 baby adventurers going through like a level 5, level 6 dungeon or something. But they have to follow along and sort of like pre-trigger traps or weaken monsters or... On the deathbed of the craftsman, he asked for the PCs to collect a set of furniture. Once the set is completed, the furniture creates a bubble of time stop. Ooh... Man, JT, why'd you have to be all, like, imaginative and creative and crap? You're bringing down the mood of this place. I'm supposed to be a dictator lecturing you on how exactly to play this game because I know everything. And I have all ideas. Yes. What, JT, what have you unleashed upon the world? Man, oh, that's great. Ivalon or Darkwolf, can one of you kind of like capture these different contribution ideas and kind of like put them together so that I can noodle over something for us to present at the end of the week? I like this as a one-shot series idea, Coffee Cat says. By the way, I missed King. Hey, King. Class ability, feat, and spell are usually indistinguishable from each other, aside from very specific way you can mix them together. And usually having these sort of pre-game choices builds something of an Ivory Tower gameplay, where the battles are won before the session even begins. Oh, was that in reference to something that I missed, King? Otherwise, it sounds like good advice. I trust you on this one. I'm the creative director at Matty Morg's Games. You get to work writing and running the numbers. Thank you for your hard work. Have I just been supplanted in my own channel? Oh, well, America. Evelyn complained about skill systems and feats. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Spellcasting ability. We're on page 3. We cast off of a Cha. We are a Bard. Spellcasting, our save was 16. Our attack bonus was 8. We are going to have Bardic Inspiration / Cutting Words at D10s, and we have 4 of them. This little second circle is for things like Lay on Hands, your monk key points, sorcery points, how many times you can turn into an animal as a druid, that kind of a thing. I've been deposed. Sit back, don't complain when someone wants to do the work while you get the compliments. That's right, Delcorn, I've been deposed. You know, just that Street Fighter. Ooh, 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 ooh. I accept compliments and 25% of the profits, says JT. We have 4 cantrips. We talked about Mending being one of them because we have a black Dragonborn and they breathe acid. And we said that when she sleeps, she drools a little bit. And so every morning on her pillow, blanket, or shirt or something, she'll actually have it like kind of like acid dripped away with like little holes. And so every morning, it's important for her to learn mending so she can fix her stuff. It's a little bit of an embarrassing point for her. Shh, don't bring it up. That is true, Pat. Coffee Cat. There you go. All right, spells known. At level 1. We have 4. I recommend on your spell sheet indicate at which level did you get this spell. You can see at level 2 we go to 5, but we can't cast. Beyond first. Beyond first level. So level 2 goes here. By the way, we had 4, 3, 3, 3, 2. Okay. Now at level 3, we go up from 5 to 6. If you want, you can put your level 3 here in level 1 spells, or you can finally start branching out and go to level 3. That means we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we were to just advance as far as we could with every level. Again, if you want to put level 6 back here and learn a second or a third level 2 spell, you can do that. And you can retrain a spell between levels if something's not working out for you. We are also going to be getting 4 spells from 4 different classes. And these could be cantrips. Does she want to know more cantrips? We could take any 4 spells that we want and treat them as bard spells. So in this case, what you could do is go magical secrets, and I don't know. You have 4 of them. You have 4 of them to go through. So I don't know. Maybe we give her magical secret here, and then we give her, and if we want like magical secret druid, and we want to go magical secret wizard, and then we wanted to go magical secret cleric, and maybe 2 clerics, and then we go back here and we give her another magical secret here, because it's of any level that we can cast when you get the ability. So there, this is what her spell sheet looks like. Now for tonight, I mean, we can maybe in part 3, but I do want to advance and help build this this side character for our new friend. But this is what to think of. This is how to approach. For any character, your spells are a diary. They explain your character's personality, where she's been, what she expects to happen, what she's been exposed to. Well, maybe for more, fixed spell people, not necessarily. For a cleric, a druid, and a paladin, your spell sheet on any day is kind of a snapshot of your current condition. But for bards, wizards especially, it's very literally a diary. Sorcerers, warlocks, the spells you know are a composite of you in magical form. What's your personality? Are you aggressive? You're going to have a lot of aggressive spells. Are you supportive? You're going to have a lot of supporting spells. You may have picked up a spell, like especially for wizards, but even if you want to put this level in bards, you could have picked up, I don't know, an energy resistance for like heat resistance or cold resistance in a frozen wasteland village up north. So use your spell sheet also to develop your character. It is a part of your character sheet. Be proud of it and let your spell sheet speak for your character. All right, and we don't have a companion, so we're not worried about that. All right, so she needs a name. Think of a name. I need to go and take like a 10-minute break. I'm going to get refreshed. I'm going to, do what I got to do. And when we come back, we will have a blank sheet. And instead of making a random character, we are going to help conceptualize and build A new character for a new player to 5th edition. Yep, Eltane, stay tuned, all right?